Hey, what's up DIYers? Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Thank you for watching. Working on a TV today, and in today's video, the step-by-step process on how to properly and safely replace your internal main board. Let's get started. All right, DIYers, in front of us is the 55-inch Samsung TV we will be working on today. What we'll do is go ahead and turn it on, and you're going to see vertical lines, unfortunately. And this is caused by a couple different things. In most cases, it will be your T-Con board or your ribbon wiring that connects to your T-Con board and feeds to the main board. However, there are TVs that do not have T-Con boards, and in our case, this is one of them. So what we'll do is put this TV on the workstation, open up the back panel, and show you how to replace your main board. At this point, DIYers, I've got the TV resting panel or screen side down on a soft surface. We need to remove this back panel. It's held on by a bunch of Phillips screws, and they're everywhere, and some are hiding. It's important to know, once you remove all those screws, this panel should come off extremely easily. If it does not, you're missing a screw. Try to find it. We've got the space here, and we've got a few Phillips screws. We actually need to remove this also because there are additional Phillips screws underneath here that we have to remove. At this point, I've got all Phillips screws removed, including the base, and underneath the base were those 3 additional Phillips screws. I've got these screws organized and placed in a manner where I will know exactly what screw goes in the exact same holes it came out of. From here, again, it should be extremely easy to pull up. It's heavy to do it with one finger. And again, if it's not pulling up extremely easily, you're missing a screw. We'll go ahead and pull this off with both hands. All right, DIYers, with the back panel removed, we got much better access to all of our internal parts of our TV. We are focusing on that main board right there. And as you can see, a lot of wire connections feeding into it. And what we'll do is spend a couple minutes and remove all of these. We're going to start with our ribbon wiring. Do not use any tools such as screwdrivers. Grab your fingernail, carefully go underneath that black tab, pull it up, and carefully shift your ribbon wiring out. You'll do this carefully for both. And if it's not coming out, chances are your securing tab is not fully opened. From here, this is the connection point that feeds power to your speakers. Pretty cool, huh? Do not pull from the wires. The last thing you want is to separate your electrical wires from the plastic connection points. And all of these are pressure tabs and they're plastic. Do your best not to break them. Just by pushing down on the outer edge, you will notice the inner portion raises. And as you push down on that tab and raise the upper portion, simultaneously shift it outward. Just like that. And you'll do the exact same for the white connections. See that? You just push down here and pull the connections carefully out. Do not pull from the wires. You do not want these wires separating from the plastic connections. To the upper one, this one's kind of stubborn. I've been tugging at it and finally got it loose. Be very careful. Do not damage these connections. Now the cool thing with our purchase, we bought the kit. So it comes with new wiring that feeds to a new Wi-Fi sensor, an IR sensor, and a power button. And check that out. So basically the hard connections right here, we don't actually have to remove from the board itself because we're going to take that board off, and the power button, the IR sensor, which we can pull up out of its slot here, this just shifts right out like that. And on each side of this upper plastic tab here, you push in and pull out. I might need both hands, maybe not. Once you get one out, the other just slides right out. There's those 2 slots right there. And those little tabs that go in and lock. And connected to the top portion of your speaker, carefully pull the wiring up and out as shown here. Next, what I want to do is carefully remove this plastic cover to all of your ports, your coax, your HDMIs, etc. And you've got a plastic tab here. Don't break it. Again, just be careful. Shift it up. You've got a second one on the upper portion. And you got one hiding in the middle. Once you snap those out of the locking tabs, you can carefully shift that plastic cover out. Let's go ahead and remove this power board. And up at the top right corner, you've got this little slot here, and it's going to allow you to shift it to the left. Very important. Carefully grab the underside of the panel, lift it up over that little tab there, and shift it forward just like that. And you're going to do this carefully without harming or putting any pressure on this aluminum panel here, and shift this power board off just like that. and it's completely removed from the TV now. Let's go ahead and carefully pull all of this off and go get the new board. I've got the new main board in hand. We'll carefully unwrap it from the packaging. Making progress. Ours came in a pinkish purple Ziploc bag. With the new board in hand, I do want to show you the back tabs. That's what they look like. They just slide into place. Carefully rest this in place and align it in those slots right here. And as you align this, you can just carefully push it in place from the left-hand side. Again, do not push or apply pressure on the back aluminum panel here. Just like that. Next, we'll grab that plastic cover, and the lower, larger hole goes over your coax connection, and just take a couple seconds, snap this in place. Now we are going to resecure our connection points. Again, just be careful as you're doing this. You don't want to harm anything. Push it until it clicks. And as far as the ribbon wiring, make sure your securing tabs are up. Carefully align your ribbon wiring into the slot, push in, and make sure this is in the fully open position, because if it is not, your ribbon wiring will not go in all the way as it is supposed to. At that point, shift that down, and we will do this for both sides. This little black line here, very important. Slide it in place, and again, make sure it's fully opened, and that black line should be flush with the outer portion of your securing housing. We will grab our speaker wire connection, push in until it clicks, and from here, let's go and open up everything and resecure it. I'll start with the Wi-Fi module first. Those two cutouts there, insert and secure those. Coming in at an angle on one side, and once you insert the bottom side, you can shift that upper side down in place until it locks the module. Just like that. Be careful, don't break it, it's plastic. Next, grab your wiring and connection point, and the Wi-Fi module will go in the right-hand connection. Make sure that tab is on the upper portion, and insert it and push it in until it clicks. Just like that. And the wiring will actually feed into the upper slots or connection tabs on the upper portion of that speaker. Now for your power button and IR sensor, the power button will just slide into that little slot there and go into place with that tab, and the IR sensor will shift down into the slot here as shown like that. And the connection wiring, you will carefully realign that and secure it again until you hear the clicking sound, which means it is properly in and locked, just like that. And don't forget that upper one. From here, it's a real good time to inspect everything. Make sure nothing is out of the norm. In the event that you see a lot of dust, go ahead and clean it. And from here, we'll go grab the rear panel, realign it, and as you do that, just do your best not to harm any parts or wiring. Go ahead and resecure all the Phillips screws and your base or mount. I've gently realigned and rested the back panel in place, and before you start inserting screws, make sure all the screw holes are visible the entire way around the TV. At this point, I've got all the screws inserted and secured. Do your best not to over tighten them. That would not be good. You'll run into cracking plastic. We also inserted and secured the base. All right, DIYers, everything's put back together and folded up our blanket. And what we'll do now is turn on the TV. Again, we have that aggressive impact point, unfortunately, and that is your number one clue that chances are your TCON board or your main board is not going to fix it. However, if it does, that's awesome. But for your convenience, what we are going to do is we are going to make a step-by-step video on how to replace this exact panel. And that video link is scrolling above. Definitely check it out, because again, we have to do it. We have that impact point, and it is not only giving us vertical lines, but if you look real close, it's also giving us horizontal lines. See those? Hopefully this helps. Do us a favor, below the video, you'll see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you at the next video where we replace that panel.